Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 6 of my weekly devotional series. I can't believe it's been 6 weeks already, but here we are. So let's get into it. This week, we're going to be reading again from Paul David Tripp's New Morning Mercies. I really love this devotional book. Every time I think I can't be more blown away by the writing and just what I'm learning and what it's teaching me. I read something else and I'm like, wow, that was really timely and I really needed to hear that. And I think the devotional that I'm going to read today, you might feel similarly about. So let's get into it. The topic for this devotional says, love that calls wrong right and right wrong simply isn't love. Real love rebukes and forgives. There are an awful lot of things that we call love that don't really rise to the level of what love is and what love does. Being willing to tolerate things that are wrong in the eyes of God may create a comfortable surface peace, but it isn't what love does. Being willing to live inside of a circle of evil and not make waves may cause people to like me, but it isn't love. Saying, "It's okay, don't worry about it," to a person who did something really wrong is not really loving. Maintaining peace at any cost isn't love. Remaining silent when I should speak up isn't love. Being unwilling to step into tense moments with you because there is wrong between us that needs to be exposed and discussed isn't love. Asking you to tolerate whatever I do or say because you say you love me is a fundamental misunderstanding of what love is and what love does. Much of what we think love is simply isn't love after all. Real, biblical, self-sacrificing, God-honoring love never compromises what God says is right and true. Truth and love are inextricably bound together. Love that compromises truth simply isn't love. Truth without love ceases to be truth because it gets bent and twisted by other human agendas. If love wants and works for what is best for you, then love is committed to being part of what God says is in your best life. So, I am committed to being God's tool for what He says is best in your life, even if that means we have to go through tense and difficult moments to get there. I think often we opt for silence, willingly avoiding issues and letting wrong things go on unchecked, not because we love the other person, but because we love ourselves and just don't want to go through the hassle of dealing with something that God says is clearly wrong. We are unwilling to make the hard, personal sacrifices that are the call of real love. Now, I'm not talking about being self-righteous, judgmental, critical, and condemning. No, I'm talking about choosing not to ignore wrong, but dealing with wrong with the same grace that you have been given by God. Grace never calls wrong right. If wrong were right, grace wouldn't be necessary. If sin weren't evil and wrong, Jesus would never have had to come. The cross of Jesus Christ is the only model you need of what love does in the face of wrong. Love doesn't call wrong right. Love doesn't ignore wrong and hope it goes away. Love doesn't turn its back on you because you are wrong. Love doesn't mock you. Love doesn't mean I turn the tables and work to make you hurt in the same way you have hurt me. Love doesn't go passive and stay silent in the face of wrong. Love moves towards you because you are wrong and need to be rescued from you. In moving toward you, love is willing to make sacrifices and endure hardships so that you may be made right again and be reconciled to God and others. God graces us with this kind of love so that we may be tools of this love in the lives of others. For further study and encouragement, read 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 13. Whew! So this devotional was really timely, or I should say this topic of devotional was really timely. So recently, my girls, so I have 3 girls. For those who may not know, they are 11, 7, and 6 right now. And my 2 younger ones, they need a little bit more attention and care at some times. And what I'm learning is teaching them the foundation, right, of love, first of all, and the principles in 1 Corinthians about the love and the characteristics of love are really helpful. So when it comes time for a disciplinary lesson, if they're doing something that's not really favorable, and we've been practicing saying it and writing it so they can memorize it, and they do something that's not favorable, I'll look at them and I'll say, okay, love is, and I'll pause so that they can fill it in. And they'll say, love is patient, or they'll say, love is kind. And I'll say, what else? And they'll say, it's not easily angered. They know these things because they're learning it and we've talked about it. And so if we could apply those same principles in our own lives, I think it would be helpful, because in the middle of certain situations when we are upset, frustrated, or, wanting to be passive aggressive with somebody, give somebody the silent treatment, or think about, wow, they really hurt me. They really did me wrong. I want to get them back, or make them hurt like I hurt. We want to think about what I just read in that devotional, and how we can be better and operate in love. And I said this in a prior devotional, but not only acting in those characteristics of love in 1 Corinthians, but the fruit of the Spirit. I always try to keep those fruits in my mind, and that characteristics as well. And actually, the first fruit of the Spirit is love. It's so appropriate. And so, it's never too old. It's never too tiring. You never get fed up with hearing those things, because it is really, really important. And I also think knowing and internalizing that scripture will also help a lot of people overall, and in particularly women, because that's the reason why I started my blog, is to help women that are struggling in toxic relationships to basically come out of the current state that they're in, and really think about, okay, well, how did you get to that state in the first place, right? It's all a mindset. And I want to eventually unpack those things, but very surface level, if we think about love and operating in the characteristics of what love is in that 1 Corinthians chapter 13, we're well on our way. So I hope this was helpful to you all, and that if you found it helpful, that you could share it with someone else so that they could be blessed as well. And hope everyone has a great weekend.